Why do I feel like I don't need to meditate anymore? This episode is more for people who have had an awakening and no longer feel like they want to meditate anymore, or any spiritual practice for that matter. If you're just feeling like you don't want to do it because it's just kind of boring, or you're just don't want to for whatever reason, that's another thing. I mean, sometimes meditation can be kind of arduous, but I also find that it does pay off, and it kind of has a snowball effect where the more you do it, the easier it becomes and more enjoyable it becomes, and it reaps better benefits. But from my own experience, my own 2 cents on this is that after I had um, clarity after my awakening, um, it felt more like I was in a meditative state on the regular, and life still goes on and life still happens, and there's going to be some ups and downs to life, but you just kind of don't hang on to things in your mind as much, or at all. It can also be kind of an unfolding where you have clarity, and now there's a deepening of that clarity, and there's still some kind of cobweb, so to speak, that you might get hung up on, but generally speaking, the majority of the time becomes more meditative. And for me, it was kind of weird because it felt uncomfortable to meditate, almost like I was trying to force myself back into the unawakened um, mindset, so to speak. If this happens, then don't push it, and don't be hard on yourself. It's okay. I think that this is normal from my own experience, but also from um, what I've heard of other people's experiences. It's common. And there's nothing wrong with continuing to do that stuff. But the thing is even though spiritual practices, um, the majority of them are, their goal is to drop the self or transcend the self. Um, these practices are self-reinforcing because you're doing a practice. So it kind of and I think that's why I started to feel uncomfortable when I was trying to do it, because I was um not really operating as a self. But then when I went to do my routine of meditation, I had to like become a self again to do the meditation. It seemed like I was forcing myself back into a box a little bit. But meditation's great, and as I've said before, there are no prerequisites for awakening. However, I do kind of feel that may also be so that these practices do amount to a higher likelihood of awakening. They may help to facilitate an awakening. And an analogy I heard before was that it's kind of like being outside in a lightning storm. You can't really do anything to guarantee that you'll be struck by lightning, but you can enchant the odds if you are holding a big metal rod. So we could think of the spiritual techniques such as meditation as kind of holding that metal rod to increase the likelihood of being struck with an awakening. But if you feel like you've had some clarity and you feel like you don't have that seeking energy anymore, and you don't feel like you want to meditate, then don't force it, and that's okay. So I hope this helps somebody if you're going through something like this, because it was a little confusing for me when it happened to me. I was meditating on a daily basis for I think a year and a half, something like that, and uh, and then when I had my awakening, um, then I didn't want to meditate anymore, and that just a little felt weird to me. I'm like, what's going on here? But then I got some clarity on that, and I have a better understanding of at least my own understanding of why that was the case, and that's what I'm sharing here is just why force yourself back into the self box if you're already not in it. If you're in a meditative state, then you're in the now. um there's no reason to really meditate because there's no benefit to get out of the meditation because meditation can imply a next. We meditate for reasons. It might be to calm down or to relax. It could also be for um, spiritual development or awakening. Could be religious reasons, but there's a reason for it. But when you're cleared up and you're awake, then there's no reason to try to um, do anything for the next because the next you see is just a mental fabrication and everything is present in the now, and that's just it's always been the case. So yeah, if this helps anybody, that would be great. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, then please hit the subscribe button. If you have anything that you want to say, then please say it down below. If you know anybody who might like this, then please share it and hit that little bell button if you want to get notifications when I drop new content. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.